3 months, I think. 3 months. Yeah, it's good to be back. Good, good. Are you good? Still good?
No. Yeah. I'm good. Mr. Delict hater number one over here, getting ready to celebrate for selling Delict and buying a bunch of players we don't know. Let's go, everybody. Let's do this.
The gut. Oh, fun.
I don't think so. I mean, we hear you.
That's interesting.
It's the haters. We're a big channel now, so
I don't
they're
know what
like, hey,
happened.
we gotta.
They're trying to. YouTube is trying to silence Ali.
Yeah.
I'm back now. I should be back.
There we are.
Yeah, that wasn't that was an epic fail. So let's do that again. Yeah, I don't know what happened because I was trying to fix the mic because everybody complains, and I flipped some settings and I didn't do it. Change it back to normal. So welcome to the Bianconeri Zone, where we're gonna discuss why we should sell Delict and play Gatti alongside I don't know Rugani apparently. So yeah, screw it. I messed it up. I was saying I was not planning to watch the Italy game because again the games are boring. Like the Nations League games, they're not fun to watch, which is normal. Like they play different players, which is okay, So I was not planning to watch, but when I saw Gatti play, I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch a full game because I'm not gonna lie, I never watched him play a full game, a full 90 minutes. Never. I saw a few 15 minutes, 20 minutes here and there, and some highlights. So I decided I'm just gonna watch an entire game, and he was much better than I would expect it. Like I'm not gonna lie, he didn't look out of place for a Serie B player. I think that's important. Like it looked like he did that before, and we did that before. I mean, not playing games, but playing games of this level. And again, it's Nations League. It's not 100% still. Like he's playing against quality oppositions, and he was better than his partner Acerbi, which is not difficult, but still, like he was. So the question I will ask both of you, because the talk is that he is gonna stay with the club. Okay, no, just forget. Don't think about it's one game, because it's one game. Are you like, let's say it's the end of August, transfer market closes, and the replacement for Chiellini is Gatti. How would you feel? Dash, you go.
I don't know. I still feel a little bit indifferent. I don't think he's going to be able to step into Chiellini's shoes right away. For me, I think it's more or less of how he performs in July and the beginning of August as well, like the first couple games of the season. But for me, I'm going to trust Allegri's assessment off of the July training camp and see where he stands, because you have one good pop-off game and then you can easily slip. So it's one of those things where it's good. It's a good good sign for us that we potentially have a good center back, but I still need a little bit more time before I really give like a final verdict. But it definitely is going in the right direction. I mean, he's proven that he can handle world-class forwards. And, we can say it's arguable if Sterling and Grealish and Abraham are world-class, but Gatti still played really well against those guys.
What about you, Malik?
I think it's very reassuring that he's playing very well at such a level. I still feel that we need a new centre back regardless of Gatti, because we're still thin at the back and Bonucci is going to be in and out all season. So yeah, it's good that Gatti is playing at this sort of level, but then again, I still think we need to sign a top class centre back regardless.
I agree because replacing Chiellini should be a priority because also because like over the last couple of years, like he struggled to stay fit, so he wasn't really like the guy, if you know what I mean. So you need to replace him regardless. But the Bonucci thing worries me more than Chiellini moving on. Because I don't think Bonucci, like, the last couple of months, his injury record is also not like, it's concerning, but his play is also worrying. Yeah, he's not the old Bonucci anymore. We know that. He's declining, and we can see that he's declining. And without Chiellini alongside him, I think he looks better with Chiellini than without Chiellini. Let's say if he plays with De Ligt. People might say that's normal because they know each other, but like De Ligt has been at the club for 3 years now. It's 3 years, yeah, right? Yeah, 3 years. You should have picked it up by now, and it still doesn't. It looks shaky at times when they play together, and most of the time it's Bonucci. You know, it's not like De Ligt has.
To be fair, he's always had that tendency where if Chiellini
Yes.
doesn't play a few years ago, where people kept saying Chiellini needed to hold his hand for him to play properly. Yeah, I felt that was the case all along, and even when he came back from Milan, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is because those two have been together for so long, Chiellini knows Bonucci's tendencies. So like Chiellini knows where Bonucci steps, he even said he knows him better than he knows his wife in theory. So it's like, I really do think that I think Chiellini masks a lot of Bonucci's ineptness as far as on the defensive front, because like, for example, we've seen like big games where Chiellini was injured and it was just Bonucci and then, sticking Rugani, and I'll even say before the De Ligt days, it was just, it doesn't look good at all. I mean, and the biggest example was when he went to Milan, when he was with Romagnoli, where those two were supposed to be the biggest duo in Italy, and they absolutely flopped. So I do really think that Chiellini masks, I don't want to say masks, but he knows where Bonucci steps, so then he just kind of steps in the opposite direction to clean up a lot of the plays. And you've seen it, and like, for example, the Euros is a great example of it too, where, for example, Bonucci would misstep and then you'd see Chiellini right around the edge being able to cover for him. So I don't think Bonucci is really going to have, I don't want to say he's going to completely be in shambles, but I don't expect an amazing season out of him.
I think,
and in addition to that, I feel like the two really complemented each other throughout their careers. Chiellini was always the one, marking the big men, getting in the rough challenges, whilst he also lacked in sort of the distribution play, and Bonucci made up for that.
Yep.
Also, the more I think about it, the more I believe we're not gonna get another center back, and I think Danilo will be the guy who will fill in if needed. I think that's what's gonna happen in my opinion. Like, going off the rumors, going off the links, the way we are moving, all the talks. It's not. I don't think we have a big budget. I think nobody. Like, let me know in the chat. Does anyone believe we have a big budget? And we're big. I mean, 50 million. That's big already for me at the moment. So I don't think we have that. So I think they're gonna focus on one thing, and that's why I keep saying getting Di Maria in is key, because I'd rather have 1 year Di Maria and spend on a left back, a decent one, someone who can actually play. Sandro cannot play, Pellegrini cannot play, in my opinion. Than spend on Berardi and just stick with what we have. Romeo keeps saying we're gonna sign 6 or 7 players. I don't know how it's gonna happen, when it's gonna happen, unless he includes bringing Rovella back. I think he includes that, like Fagioli, Gatti, maybe he includes those players in that. Then yeah, maybe you will get to 6 or 7. But the title of the show is, let's forget about Pogba and Di Maria and even Berardi at the moment, the other names, because I see a lot of people saying Neres in the chat. That was a weird link that popped up today. I didn't even tweet it out because I don't even know where that came from. It didn't make sense from the get-go. He's not a good player. I will say that. Like, he's not awful, but like, he is super inconsistent. He's not what we need. He went to Shakhtar. No disrespect to Shakhtar, but from Ajax, you usually don't go to Shakhtar. Like, that's not really how it works. You move up, in my opinion, and from Ajax to Shakhtar is down, in my opinion. It's going down. I know Giovanni Albanese, he mentioned, Hanin can put the list in the chat. Like, he mentions new names every day. Like, he's not reliable anymore. If you come up with a new name every day, then yeah, you're not reliable, because that's not how it works. So I watched. Let's start. Okay, let's start with left back. If not Udoki, who then? Like, who's the other option? Realistic.
Emerson.
Yeah, that's
That's funny that
'Cause-
you say that, because that's what Romeo said.
Yeah,
He said at the
exactly.
moment he's
Yeah.
the
Emerson's
easiest one to
always
get.
been there, and it's frustrating as hell.
Yeah, because Lodi that's extremely complicated, and that's going to be hard to move, because I think what Atletico's valuing around 50 to 60 million, and they're saying that Udogi is going to remain at Unde for another season, so then technically he's off. So it's like Emerson Palmieri, and then who else? I think like that's the only option. And then is he on 1 year left on his current deal? Something like that, because like I know Leon wouldn't even pay 10 million for him. So
I think he has 23. Also on Windal, because
yeah, Windell too.
Let's ask about him.
on Windal, the reports were there is a release clause of 10 million euros. There is, but only for the Eredivisie, so not for non-Dutch clubs. So that's why when you hear Windal, you don't hear 10 million. It's because the release clause is only value for the Dutch clubs, so not for us.
That's why it's closer to Ajax than us.
Yeah. Anin saying I'm with Julian on this. Get Molina and move Danilo to left back for a season. That's an option, but I think like poor Danilo, he needs to play every position in this season, because he's going to be used as center back.
Yeah.
Because let's say Bonucci or Chiellini gets Bonucci or De Ligt gets injured in the first few months. Let's say only Gatti comes in. I'll bet you 100 euros that Allegri is going to play Danilo at center back, and he will not play Rugani or Gatti in the first few months. In my opinion, I think he will play Danilo. So I want Molina, but I want him for different reasons. I want De Chilo out of the club. That's number one. But that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, he's renewing soon.
Yeah, that's. I still cannot believe that he's renewing until 25. I don't know. I don't know how he managed to do that, but well, his agent is a legend. He's absolutely a legend. So yeah, left back, right back, like the Molina rumors are, they're not from great sources. Let's be honest. Like Romeo, all those people are saying, yeah, there's interest, but like nothing concrete, like nothing. We are in talks. So does anyone actually believe we're gonna sign a right back this season when our left backs are even worse? Does actually anyone believe that?
Yeah, and everyone keeps saying that right backs aren't a priority, that we have three players there, Cuadrado, Danilo, and Di Chilio, which is not the best of lists to have for the right side.
Yeah, but from what I heard was that, so like for example, Allegri hates playing Cuadrado as a right back, and he doesn't like him in that position at all. So like I think he's going to move him up as a substitute right winger, if not a starter, depending on who we get. Because like in theory, I think, and I'm not Allegri, so don't quote me on this, but I think what he wants to do is he wants to run, if we get Di Maria, he's going to run a 1-2 with Cuadrado and Di Maria, where they alternate games, I think, as far as load management, to keep them from getting their legs burnt out. So I think that's what his mindset is there. So I think Cuadrado isn't going to play defense unless, for example, we have an injury crisis where De Chilio and Danilo are both out. Then I think Cuadrado slips back on there. But I remember it was an interview like right when he came back last year where he said he's like, I don't like Cuadrado as a right back and I don't want to play him there at all. But this season, I don't think he had a choice against it, because like normally when we had full staff, you would see him play Cuadrado further up the pitch. So, because I know Misaka and I were talking about that too, where I'm like, I don't think Cuadrado is going to play as a defensive player next year.
Yeah, I saw the Di Marzio thing about Neres going to Benfica. if you want Neres and you need to compete with Benfica, you get Neres. I'm sorry. With all due respect to Benfica, that tells me we're not really in for Neres at the moment. Otherwise, you're leading that race with Benfica. Like, let's be realistic about it. So I think, to be honest, no, not to be honest, I said it many times. When it comes to news and Di Marcio speaks, I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure because he was good for Juve because of Marotta.
Now he's good for Inter, not so much for us anymore.
Yeah, but when Marotta was a Juve, he was amazing. Like Marotta, like
Yeah.
Inter Marotta, he lets agent walk into the front door with cameras on it. That's not happening at Juve anymore since 3 years now. You don't see that. In the past, you saw that. I remember that. I remember the videos in Milano where they have their setup, and at the moment, it's not happening. Can anyone remember besides Raiola once? But then again, if he's in town, you know he's in town. Like it's you know what's gonna happen. You know. But with other things, Marino-san, he broke the Berardi news. I don't think that's news. Like if that's news, then Tuttosport broke that news months ago. Because they linked us with Berardi
Yeah.
months ago.
I think it was April
Yeah.
or early May where they're saying that
So-
that was an option.
That's not really like you know what I mean? But okay. So I don't believe at the moment. I don't believe we're gonna sign a right back. I want a left back, but then again, like, okay, how I'll ask this: how do you rate Molina? Because I saw a lot of people saying he's overrated. So what do you
It's
guys
better than Deshilia.
think?
Yeah, for sure. Especially as a wing back. Like
Yeah.
as a right back, he may be susceptible, but his main position is an attacking wing back from what we've seen with Udinese for the past 2 or so seasons. Still, I watched him live the other week for Argentina against Italy. Him and Di Maria were tearing Emerson apart on that right side.
Yeah, I'm just scared. Like, if you don't get Molina now, I think he's gone next season, and you're not gonna get him. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think you need to jump on it if you have the opportunity. But I don't like at the moment. Okay, Romeo said something really strange, in my opinion. He said the club is looking to get, is focusing on Pogba and a winger before July 4th, 4th of July. You know.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, that's when preseason starts, but we need so much. We need so much. When is the rest coming in? So we're gonna focus the next month on signing Pogba and a right winger, trying to convince. Like 1 month for that. Like if that more than a one, let's say month and a half at least, we're on those deals. I'm like, what about the rest? Like, are you gonna sign and ship out the rest in 1 month and a half? That was a weird statement.
See, it is, but I'm starting to think that this might be more of the possibility, but like, I really think that they're gonna decide at training camp, like for example, when you have Julia, when you have Ravello, when you have all these players coming in from loan, I think they're gonna try them all out, and then we're gonna either see like a mass exodus or a mass signing towards the end of July. I don't see any other way, because like for example, you don't even know anything about Arthur moving or anything about Ramsey moving yet. Rebbio's still in the air, so it's like I really think that they're gonna probably do a crap ton of training in July, and then Allegri's gonna make his assessment like, okay, hey, he stays, get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy. Because if you're gonna start doing the fire sale, you would start doing the fire sale now so you could fund what you want to buy. But I think it's going to be a quick turnaround. I think they're going to drop a bunch of players and then shift over and then start buying them, because I think that it's crazy, but I think Allegri's going to use the training camp for it, because I was reading some of the interviews that like Fagioli and Ravella's agents and some of their interviews in general, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, by the way that the contract structure is going towards them, I really think that they're like, hey, we're going to try everyone out in July, and whoever, fits the system, we're going to keep them. And then also, if we don't, we're going to sell them. So I think that's what's going to happen, just based off of it, because like, even in January with the whole Zakaria and Vlahovic, that thing was what, less than 5 days. The second the opportunity opened, they jumped on it right away. So I think that might be what's going on.
That was more. I think that was a bit more easy, but super chat.
Yeah, I get you.
Thanks for super chat. I think, I don't know, family from a league or a friend. I don't know, because it's 20 SAR. Isn't that the currency from Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so a friend, I guess, or just a fan, a big fan of league. So he said you made a good point. I don't know which point, but thanks for super chat.
Molina.
Oh, the Molina one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for the super chat. I'm gonna ask you this because we're like, okay, we've been only been linked with Pogba in midfield, and we talk about we need more. Now, Ramsey he's gone. They're gonna terminate his contract. He's not coming back, so he's gone. Arthur, he's gone. I don't know how, but I think he's not gonna say it's impossible. Like they will find a solution somehow, you know. So Ramsey, he's gone, but he's not part of the team. Arthur's gone. Pogba comes in. We have not been linked with anyone else. So as of now, 11th of July, do you think we're gonna stay like this, Malik, or do you think we're gonna get linked with other players moving forward?
No. We're definitely gonna get linked with other players. First, we're gonna get rid of many players. I hope at least. The squad's way too big, and eventually, still, these are early days. We still have all of July and all of August to be linked with more names, and maybe by then, when we make the exits, we'll see more arrivals. I hope that's the case at least.
Oh yeah, 11th of June. I said July. I will throw out the name. I'll throw out the name up there because we discussed that in the past, and he played today. So Fratesi. I had a discussion with the chat months ago saying I don't want him, but I also added it's based on Sassuolo's asking price. I don't want to pay close to 40 million euros for Fratesi when Bayern Munich is signing Gravenberg for 20 mil. I know he's a free agent almost, you know, but I don't want to do that, you know. But he's a very good player, Fratesi. He said he inspires, he looks up to Marquisio. He loves the way he plays, and I'm not saying he's Marquisio, but he kind of reminds me of Marquisio the way he plays, you know, his motor, and he's actually very, very good on the ball. Let's say you have the opportunity and listen to this because it's a good question and it makes sense and also makes absolutely no sense now I'm thinking about it. Let's say you sell McKennie and you bring in Fratesi. Do you think we improve, or do you think it's just basic, steady, nothing? You didn't change anything. Like it was like for like.
They're two completely different players, though.
Yeah.
I mean quality-wise. I mean quality-wise for the team. Do you think you improve?
So let me ask you
on that.
this. Let me ask you this question first, Ali. Is this with Pogba in the midfield or without Pogba in the midfield? Because like with him, it changes the whole thing entirely.
No. Okay, Pogba starts. Let's say Pogba comes in. Pogba starts. Yeah, one of.
Yeah, you can go ahead, Malik.
Okay, with Pogba, because I feel like with McKennie, he gives you the goals. He gives you that aerial presence in the box. I feel like with that, we're going to get that with Pogba regardless, that threat in the final third. With Fratesi, it's more technical, hardworking, I guess. McKennie is hardworking, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Fratesi has more to offer on a technical level than McKennie. So if that opportunity were to come, I would take it personally.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, so the thing is like the one thing that concerns me when Pogba comes in is where does McKennie fit on this sheet? Because like for example, if we look at Pogba's best performances, like where he's played his best, it's a midfield three where you have one guy that has the motor that's covering all the space and all the area that can also cover Pogba on the defensive side. And then you also have I don't want to say an elite passer, but kind of like a regista in a sense. Because so what happens is Pogba focuses on the final third, the motor fills the gaps in between, and then you have the more defensive-oriented midfielder that's able to help cut out passes and interceptions with the press. So, like for example, Pogba's best season with Juve was when we had Marquisio and Khedira in that 3-5-2 in 2015, 2016. So I think because like if we were to get Pogba, I think McKennie leaves. I think they sell him because the thing is where does he fit? Because like for example, McKennie scores goals, but Pogba does that as well. And then like McKennie on the pitch, as far as reading the game, I don't think he has that. I think he's great at reading the offensive lines and going up front, but defensively, I think McKennie's kind of iffy. Because, like for example, we know one of those players is Locatelli that's going to play with Pogba for sure, without a doubt. Locatelli is going to be that guy that's going to facilitate the ball up to Pogba and intercept passes. And then I think Rabiot would be, in theory, I'm not saying that Rabiot should stay. I'm saying if we don't get Fratesi, I think Rabiot would have a better shot of being that like bruiser or that motor that goes around the field. And then if we sell McKennie and get Fratesi, you would have a midfield trio of Pogba, Locatelli, Fratesi. And it's kind of similar in a sense of that old midfield where Pogba really flourished. And it's almost, I want to say it's almost the same as like what he did in France, because like for example, it's him, it's Conte, and then I believe the third midfielder, I forgot the third French midfielder, but like for example, you'll have Conte that will be the defensive motor, the motor that moves around, and then you have Pogba. And I believe it shifts between Adriot as well. So like Adriot and another French player. But like I think what they're gonna do if they get Pogba is they're gonna model it kind of like how he plays for France. So that kind of, I don't want to say shuts the door in McKennie's face, but it would then kind of like make McKennie either try to play that box-to-box role. If he can't, they'll sell him. But I think if Fratesi does come in for the right price, I think he would fill out that midfield really nice just because of his qualities.
Before I respond, another super chat. I think you pronounce the name Alisa. I think I'm not sure. Maybe Malik can help me. I think it's Alisa. He said we need Alisa. We need to go all out for Tierney. 70 mil. No, like I like Tierney, but he is so injury prone.
He's a friend of mine.
Excuse me?
He's a friend of mine. He's an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, I know, because nobody's gonna pay 70 mil for Tierney. He's a good player, but he is.
We do need the left back, but we're not that desperate.
I mean, J Medical will be happy. I don't think we will be happy. Also, guys, like the video because 50 people watching, only 15 likes. So please get the likes up and subscribe to the channel. But on McKennie, he's the only player that holds value in our squad and kind of has offers. Like Rabiot has offers, like he has no value. Arthur has no real value at the moment. Like we value him at a lot, but not the rest of Europe. So McKennie is the only one who can bring in close to 30 million euros, in my opinion, depending on the team coming in for him. But what Dash said was a good point. Let's say Pogba comes in. I think the starting midfield. Okay, Pogba comes in really quickly. What do you think the starting? I don't know, like three. What's gonna be the three, Malik?
Pogba, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Pogba, Locatelli, Zakaria. That's the most balanced midfield.
That's it.
I agree.
That's it.
So it's kind of not insane. It's not insane because if you sell McKennie and you're gonna buy a replacement, you're also gonna pay 30 mil. But now, more and more rumors. We're gonna keep Miretti. One of Fajoli and Rovella is gonna say. So I'm gonna say we're not getting linked with another midfielder, like Malik said at the start, because we're gonna keep two youngsters, and I don't think we're gonna keep them just for the sake of keeping them. I think they're gonna play them. He's gonna play them.
Yeah.
So that's why I think if we get Pogba, That's it. And they will try to ship out Rabiot if the opportunity, comes. If there's an opportunity, and McKennie to cash in and reinvest that in another position. I think they're gonna bet on Miretti and Ravella Fagioli, one of the two. He's been speaking, Rovella. He thinks he's ready. I think he has every right to think that he's ready because he played Serie A
He's been
football.
looking amazing for Italy under 21
He's
recently.
been their best player. So he's been playing very well for Italy, but he's also the only one who has Serie A experience besides Miretti. Well, that's 4 games. Fagioli played Serie B football. I'm not trying to diminish that because you saw Gatti. He played Serie B football and he did well. He did well today. So I'm not gonna say that, but I think Miretti is gonna stay just because Allegri rates him. He's been with the squad for almost a year. Like he trained, blah blah blah, all those things. So it's between Fagioli and Rovella. One of the two is gonna stay, and it's gonna be that next extra midfielder. And at the moment, okay, let's do percentages. I'll say a name, and you say how out of 100 you think he's gonna stay. I'll say first off Miretti. So I'm going 95, just to not say 100.
I think he's staying 100%. Allegri rates him. And when does Allegri rate a youngster?
Yeah, I'm gonna be devil's advocate here and say 90%. Just because I'm gonna leave the 10% for what happens in preseason. Just because depending on how the players cycle. So like, because the thing is like I don't see him getting sold. I see him, if something happens, I see him getting loaned out. That's like the worst case scenario. Yeah, so he's not gonna get sold. I'm gonna say 90 just because. There's always something always happens. There's always a player that surprises somebody in preseason, or there's a player that takes a dump. So I could totally be wrong here, but I'm just gonna say 90% that Miretti stays.
I mean, saying Miretti will go on loan. I will be absolutely shocked if he's not with the first team next season. I'll be shocked. I said 95, but I will still be shocked. I think he should stay, by the way. I think he should stay. But yeah. Next up is Fagioli. No. Yeah, I will go Fagioli. I'm going to say at the moment what I think is going to happen. Or like going off all things considering. I'm going to say staying 35%.
Yeah, I genuinely don't think he's gonna stay with us because he's demanding first team football. I really doubt he's gonna get that with us next season. So, and the ultimatum he gave was that either play me or I'm sold. So, could sell.
Yeah.
Though I prefer to loan him to like a decent Serie A team, like say a Sassuolo, for example. I don't think he's gonna stay. I think
Fiorentina are interested in him.
Yeah, I heard today. I think 10% chance. I don't think it's
10? Okay. I thought I was going along with 35.
I was gonna say 5 to 10 because like the thing is when I look at what Fagioli plays, I just think he's a little bit too low on the depth chart to really like make a claim for the first team. I mean, he can stay on the first team, but I think he's gonna be on the bench for the most part. If this is us taking out the Serie B out of the equation, like him being in a season. But like if we look at the personnel that we have, if we don't change, I mean, yeah, maybe he might beat someone for the starting job, but like you look at it because he's kind of more of like I don't think he plays as a Regista. I think he's more of a box to box. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like when you look at that, you have Zakaria that's in front of him, you have McKennie that's in front of him, you have Rabiot, and like I'm not saying that they're better than him. I'm saying going off of Allegri's system. Because Allegri's always going to prefer the experience and the maturity, and I don't think Allegri's really, and kind of how Ravella's makes his comments in interviews too doesn't strike me as like the mature Allegri type player. So like if he were to stay, he would stay, but I'd be surprised if he would get consistent starts. So I think he's gone for the most part.
Okay. Let me see. What I was gonna say. Okay. So yeah, next up is then Ravella. So I'm going 65 just to make it 100. I think he's adding it at the moment.
Um, Before, like a few months back in the season, I saw that he was very injury prone and he was kind of not playing that much under Genoa's new manager, so I had my doubts about whether he'd stay at Juve. But his performances recently have been convincing me. I still think maybe it could go either way, so I'll go 50% because a part of me thinks he's going to be used in some sort of swap deal as a bargaining chip. So 50%. I'd like for him to stay though. I've started to see the light in rating.
So for me, I think I think I'm going to say 80%. The reason why is I think he's going to be a vice Locatelli. I think because I don't see Locatelli not being anywhere besides the Regista. So I think Locatelli's going to be your starter, and then Ravella is going to be his backup. So they're going to alternate between the two. And that's one of the things why I think Ravella has more value than Fagioli is because Ravella is a natural Regista. So I think just from that there, because like outside of Locatelli, who can play the Regista in a three-man midfield? I don't think we have anyone else that could do it because like Arthur is not really that good at it. So if I'm thinking, if I'm trying to read Allegri's head, I think that he's going to keep Ravella as like a vice Locatelli, and they'll alternate through games of the season where, he's not going to run Locatelli into the ground every game like he did last season. I think he's going to alternate and have a Ravella and Locatelli alternate between the two as a change of pace. So he's probably between him and Fagioli. I really think Ravella's probably got the best shot, but again, anything can happen in training camp.
Yeah, I still think I still think it's very early to basically, I don't want to say that, to predict everything, because again, it's not July, it's 11th of June. So it's still it's early. So I will say this. Now I'm kind of, I don't want to say it, contradicting myself because it's early for certain things. It's kind of getting not late, but like spending too much time for other things, in my opinion. We need to sort out so much. Like again, I watched Romeo's Twitch yesterday. Was it yesterday or Thursday? One of the 2 days.
Thursday, yeah.
But he also had yesterday. I don't know which one, but he again said he expects 6 or 7 players coming in. So that I keep saying it. That's a lot. That's actually a lot, even if he includes Gatti and Rovella into that equation or Fagioli. It's still 4 players you need to get in. Okay, Pogba 3. Who are the other 3? The right winger, yeah, Di Maria. Is he including Morata? Because it makes, yeah, you can include Morata because you need to bring him back or replace him. Either way, like you need to do that. But at the beginning, it sounds great, 6 or 7 players. But when you deep it, it's
like 2 or 3.
It's 2 or 3, and
yeah,
just players returning,
yeah,
who are not really ready. If you know what I mean, it's not like boom quality. First team certified. We're gonna improve. The starting 11 is improved in 3 positions. First game of the season. That's not the case at the moment.
It's a very misleading way to put it.
That's
'Cause
very
yeah.
like 6 and 7 players, I was thinking, where's the money gonna come from? Because we put all our eggs in the Vlahovic basket in January, so
yeah. Because at the start when he said that, I was like, wow. And then I was thinking about him, like, yeah, like kind of easy. You just need to buy 2 players, maybe 3. That's it. Um, but let's see. Let's see. Apparently, Pogba, it's gonna take a while according to Romeo, but it's like it's done. I want to say done, but like it's gonna
It's
take
a
a while.
documentary.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
documentary.
so that's that.
Yeah,
Okay, today, because I make the graphics for Justin, I was reading the news in newspapers. I'm like, this is yesterday's one. Let me check. It was today's one. I'm like, it's the same news. It's like I'm not gonna lie. So I pulled up today's newspaper and I pulled up yesterday's newspaper of Toto Sport. The articles are almost identical, like word for word. And again, I'm not expecting the club to have new targets from like today and tomorrow have different one. Like the reports are the same. Then I checked Gazzetta dello Sport, same thing. Only Gazzetta dello Sport they add money to everything with everyday passing. It's I don't know how they do it, but every time I see a report, Di Maria asks for 1 million more. The price goes up with a few million, like with every link. So it's one thing the club has again, like Romeo said, focusing on Pogba and a winger before July 4th, I think he said, or the club is absolutely leaking nothing. And according to Romeo, he's going with the second one because apparently he spoke with someone he gets his news from with, around the club, and he asked him like, "Do you have other names or like is it this?" And the guy said like, "Yeah, this is it for now." So other names are coming out, but in which position? Because if you bring Morata back, that's kind of done. You still need a backup for Vlahovic. I think the Kostic thing, I don't believe that. It's for me, it's one of those summer names that's gonna be linked with you until the end of the summer, and nothing happens.
Yeah.
And then you will hear Romeo say, "But the club never started talks. Never. It was just an idea."
Yeah, and I don't understand where he fits because if we get Morata back, like where does he go? Because I think Allegri's going to shift him Morata into the left wing, so it's I don't know where because like in theory like Morata and Vlahovic played really well together as far as because like Morata has really good passes into the box crosswise. So I think if Morata comes back, he's going to throw him on the left wing, and then just because Morata does have the work rate for it, but then if you do that, then you're gonna like where does Kostic even play? Like I don't think he can play on the right wing, so it wouldn't make sense because even so you'd have Di Maria and Cuadrado if everything works out. So I never I don't know. I mean maybe the barber knows something we don't, but I don't know.
He knows nothing. He
This summer's
just
transfer has been all about barbers leaking news.
they just use
We should talk to Milinkovic Savic's barber.
they they just use crazy fans to get some clout, and I don't blame them because some of the people are crazy. Some of the stuff you see online, the digging people do. I'm like the print streams of the Pogba documentary. I'm like, I wish I had so much time during the day. I wish I could do that. To dissect like a trailer video. That was kind of weird and insane.
Yeah,
But
but yeah, because here's the thought though, because like if we do run Morata as the vice Vlahovic, wouldn't that not work for Morata because Morata can't play as a number 9 that well?
I think he can play as a number 9.
I mean, like I think one of the reasons we saw him play consistently bad as a striker last season was because he was our only option, and like psychologically we were like, oh, he's meant to be our main guy, and he wasn't delivering. And as a backup, I think for me, I think he's always been like the super sub backup. In his early days with us, 14, 15, 15, 16 seasons, he's always
Yeah,
on the bench as a joker, scoring a goal late on or something. So him having that role, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, if he comes back, I think he will come back. By the way, I think like nobody's
yeah, because
offering anything to Atletico. He has 1 year left. Simeone doesn't want to keep him. He wants to come back. They need to find a solution. I think somehow they will just let him sign a new deal for 1 year, loan him out, and then Juve will buy him for like a few millions next season. Just to write everything off like financially. I don't know how it works, but like we did that with I don't know with who did we do that with Romero or Dimiro? We did it with someone. He signed an extension, then went on loan. I don't know which player. I don't know, but like I
I
don't
think
know.
it was better, yeah.
I don't know how it exactly works number wise, but like um, I think they will find a solution like that also because they don't want to keep him. And he's pushing to come back. So I think that will get done. I don't know when. I don't think that's an issue for Allegri because he knows the club. Like he can just come in, day before the start of the season, and he will just fits in. It's nothing. So I think that will be a deal that you will hear at some point. Yeah, it's done, and yeah, it's done. Also, guys, like the video. Only 28 50 likes. Only 20. Oh my god, 50 people watching. Only 28 likes. So get the likes up.
That comment's legendary. Sell Delit, bring in Phil Jones.
He's cheap. The Lake
Phil Jones.
The Lake talk. I don't want to talk about the Lake at the moment. I will talk about the Lake because someone I remember. I don't know which. I forgot the name. He said like months ago, you guys are overhyping the Lake. Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, that's your opinion. Fair. And now he texted me back, or he DM'd me on Twitter like a week ago, and he was attacking me, saying, "I told you he's overrated, blah blah blah. He wants to leave, and you're like you want to make him captain." I'm like, if he wants to leave, he can leave. Like it's not that deep for me, If Chiesa turns around and said, "I want out, I don't want to play," fine, leave. But I'm just saying, I will sit back at that point. I'm like, what's wrong with the club? Why do these players want to leave? Like, what's the reason these players don't want to stay with us? There must be a reason, I think that's the conversation we need to have. If someone wants to leave, fine. Like, if you don't want to play for us, it is what it is. Like, you're not a fan of the club, and even if you're a fan of the club, if you have a decent reason, it's football. Like, nobody needs to stay. Like, everybody is free, quote unquote, to do what they want or ask what they want. But the Ligt thing is kind of getting out of hand now because he speaks and he doesn't lie when he speaks. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't care. Like, he basically said, I want ambition. I want to see what the club is doing. We all want to see that. I don't understand the issue with that. And if somebody comes in and they pay 100 million euros and the Ligt says, I'm out, I don't want to stay, goodbye. Like, it's not that deep. Like, I don't see the issue. I don't see the issue.
It's much better than that PR nonsense where players, say superficial things just for the sake of saying, oh, everything's fine and dandy when everything's not. The Ligt's being straightforward, and I rate that.
And also, like, I see a lot of things. People saying, oh, he's not good enough. Letting go of an offer comes in from 100 million. I'm like, okay, is he good enough? Yes or no? If no, how do you want to get 100 million euros? That's one. So people are like fighting with each other, like fighting with the voices in their heads. I think that's the issue. Like, they say he's not good enough, but they want 100 million euros for it. Which team is going to pay 100 million euros for a player that's not good enough? Yeah, but that's his release clause. Yeah, but you said he's not good enough. So why would a club pay that money even with a release clause? Joao Felix has a break, like all those Spanish players have a release clause. That doesn't mean you need to pay that money, But again, if he wants to leave, he wants to leave. I think he's going to stay. I think he's going to stay one more year. If he leaves after that, it is what it is. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to ask the question is, okay, why do top players, top talents want to leave the club? And people say, oh, but look at Locatelli and Chiesa. Oh, they're Italian players. They're not going anywhere. That's how it works. Good English players are not going anywhere. The meaty ones, or like the players who are not regarded as good enough, they will leave England. So comparing that with Chiesa, Locatelli, and saying, oh, but they want to fight for the club, blah, blah, blah. Locatelli is a bigger Juve fan than us, so that makes sense. De Ligt is not a Juve fan. He's a Dutch player. He didn't support Juve. It's weird. It's all weird, but it is what it is. Again, if De Ligt wants to leave, he wants to leave. Someone pay the money and goodbye if he wants to leave. But he never said he wants to leave. People make a big thing out of it.
I don't even think that, like, What's the point? Like, it's not going to do anything. Like, it's all speculation. Unless he physically says, I'm out, he's out, then we can talk about it. But I don't know. I just think people have nothing else right now. So, delete this, delete that. Because personally, I don't care. If he stays, he stays. He leaves, he leaves. I mean, the thing is like, I think we all three of us here have that thought that, Delict's not going to be here until he's 35, 36 years old. So it's like, it's a matter of time. So for me, it's like, if he stays, great, awesome. If he leaves, replace him like we replaced anyone else. Like, I mean, we replaced Zidane with Nedved and Buffon, so it's not like, it's the end of the world. So.
That's the point you made. It's it's how you're gonna replace him if you get the money. Because someone's saying, like AB is saying, Salam let him go and get Bremer and Koulibaly. That's never gonna happen, ever.
Yeah, no.
Bremer wants Inter, and he's going to join Inter. Koulibaly, I don't believe for one bit that he's going to leave Napoli to come to Juve. I don't believe that whatsoever. So it's not that easy, It's not that easy. But yeah, enough of the leg. Let's see how that will develop. I don't know, over the coming weeks. I hope so. It needs to get resolved this summer anyway. Before the season starts, in my opinion. It needs to get resolved by then. Let me see. I wrote something down I want to talk about. Let me see what it was. It's gone. What did I want to talk about? I wrote it down. I forgot about it. I forgot about it. Oh yeah, okay. I will say that. That's what I said. Not our transfer business, other transfer business, which maybe is linked with ours, is the money that's going around now at the moment. 100 million euros, including bonuses for Darwin Núñez. 100 million euros, including bonuses for Tchouaméni. I couldn't believe it when I read that news. And I'm like, how are we going to compete with that? We paid a lot of money for Vlahovic. I get that. But that's a lot of money. And when I saw that, I'm like, we are haggling over a few millions here and there for some of the players we're going to get in. I'm like, we cannot make one single mistake over the coming years with any player we bring in. They need to bang because we have no margin for errors. None at all. Like, if you can pay 100 million euros for Tchouaméni, who I think he's a good player, but 100 million euros? That's insane. That's for me, Real Madrid saying, we didn't get Mbappé, but we have the money, so just let us sign anyone.
Yeah, they're like the Spanish government will give us a new transfer budget for next season, so we got to use it before these expire.
I will say this, and I will ask you. I kind of need to applaud or give the management a lot of credit for getting Vlahovic in January, because if we didn't get Vlahovic in January, we had absolutely no chance in the summer now, I believe. What do you think, Malik? Let's say we didn't sign Vlahovic in January. Do you think we had a shot this summer?
If we didn't sign Vlahovic in January, I don't think we would have made Champions League. That would have been a very big possibility. So that plays a big factor. But I think signing Vlahovic shows the club's ambition. So maybe that could be a pull for other players, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'd get outbid. Just because of the striker market that's going out right now. Because it's like you have Haaland and then Mbappe and then those guys. Well, Haaland was already a done deal, so you'd have all these other top teams trying to figure out who's going to get Vlahovic. So I think it would have been a bidding war, and the club would have been like, yeah, we're not going to be able to hit this. So I think if Tchouaméni went for 100, I think Vlahovic goes for 100 too. I would be surprised if he went any lower, because when we bought him, Tchouaméni was projected at around 75, 80, so roughly around the same price. So I'm just thinking in my head, as far as inflation goes, I think it'd probably be roughly around the same price, and the club's just like, whatever, let's just grab Scamacca.
Yeah.
The whole signing Vlahovic in January was to avoid a potential bidding war at the summer, because as you mentioned, his valuation would inevitably increase. especially at the projection he was going on. I think if he stayed at Fiorentina, he probably would win the Capo Cannoniere.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hanin is saying open the Allianz Stadium for weddings. Going off the ticket prices for next season, I don't think you even can pay the Allianz Stadium for a wedding because they released the season ticket prices, and I think Agnelli is stuck in 2016-17 because he's asking for money. Like, we're gonna play in empty stadiums again next season. The money he's asking for is insane. Is that money you can ask if you're dominating again? We're not doing that. Nobody's gonna pay that. Not a lot of people are gonna pay that. The money is insane. I wanna go and watch games because I've not been for 3 years because of the pandemic, and this season I just refuse to pay that money. I'm scared. Like, I'm actually scared. The prices are gonna be again insane. Even the cheapest tickets, like, it's insane. Like, the prices are almost reaching more than the flight. Ticket to fly from Belgium to Torino and back is almost cheaper than a ticket to watch a game. That's actually insane when you think about it. But again, you can ask them money if you are dominating, and we're not doing that. So again, next season, I don't think it's going to be fun to watch the games again. It's going to be empty a lot, in my opinion. Though Juve Piero saying, I'll pay more to watch a wedding in the Allianz Stadium than this miserable Juve side. Yeah, maybe streaming weddings is a thing. I don't know.
at this point, yeah.
It's funny that they say that. So, like, for example, our American football team, the Detroit Lions, so, like, they have their stadium, and then they also built office space within their stadium that they rent out to, like, law firms, accounting firms, and, like, other businesses, too. So it's, like, you have, like, the stadium in the field, and then, like, as you're walking through it, you, like, see the business sector of the stadium where they actually have office space. Like, so, like, for example, I don't know if people in the chat know what NHL hockey is, but hockey. So, like, we have another arena that we built that has the basketball team and the hockey team, and then right in that arena is Google's office for the Midwest. Like, they rent out part of the stadium to Google for the office, as well as some other companies too. So it's funny because they do that a lot in the U.S., where a lot of sports teams actually rent out their stadiums to like Google, Amazon, or other companies too. So Daniele should hop on that train.
Revenue.
Yeah, you need to get money. I think they need to get money elsewhere. I know the revenue can be a lot in the stadium, but at this moment in time, like, fans are not gonna pay 100 euros close, or like 80 euros for one ticket to watch us play Cremonese. They're not gonna do that. Maybe if you were winning titles, they will do that. At the moment, like, with the pandemic, everything getting more expensive, they're not gonna do that. They're actually not gonna do that. So I think we're gonna play in empty stadiums a lot next season once again. But it is what it is. Let me see if nothing else is coming on. Locatelli was good today. He was. I think we're gonna wrap it up because someone is asking, where are the Sinisteros links? Everyone's sleeping on our boy. Yeah, no links. Actually, nobody's being linked with him because last Wednesday I was watching a Dutch channel where they talk about transfers, and his name didn't even came up. So I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's early, but like, usually you see links here and there, but nothing at the moment. But we're gonna wrap it up because it's kind of a dead day. We have nothing to talk about anymore. Let's hope next week we'll have some more decent links.
Hope it's not next season and it's next week.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, we're gonna do a watch along for the Pogba documentary. It's all of us and the members. Dog Daddy David is hosting it. We're gonna stream it on YouTube. We're gonna get to the part because, oh my gosh, when Pogba speaks English, it's funny. So he's like, "All right, my next team is."
Where can you even watch that?
It's gonna be on Amazon. Amazon Prime. Prime Video.
Yeah.
I think.
Also, is it one episode?
Yeah.
It's one thing.
I don't know.
That's a good.
To be honest, my seriousness of how much it is and how it's working, Alejandro, is all I know is it's June 17th and it's a documentary. Other
I'm
than
not
that, I
gonna
have not
watch
looked
it.
into anything
Like, I'm
else.
not gonna watch it. Uh, I actually don't believe he's gonna announce a team in that video. I still don't believe it. And if it's Juve, I cannot believe Juve is participating in it. Like, how does that even work?
Maybe
Like, he drops a
revenue.
video, and they're gonna wait 1 hour and 70 minutes. Let's say that's how long it takes, and then they're gonna tweet out, "We signed Pogba." Like, how does it even work? And even saying 5
That'd be,
episodes. Jesus Christ! Like,
oh
that makes no
man,
sense because
so
the Griezmann one was
Pogba's cool
one,
and
right?
all. Yeah, it was like a 30-minute
Yeah,
episode that
5
was produced
episodes.
by
Jesus Christ! Like,
and the funny thing is like, spoiler alert, it was produced by Gerard Piqué's film company. So it's like, oh hey, totally not going to Barcelona. Just kidding. I'm using the same exact film company as a player in Barcelona.
like 5
But
episodes. Are they gonna drop
yeah,
it once? Like, I don't believe it. I
I
still
think
don't believe it.
I don't know. Well, so Prime Video, outside of I think The Boys, they drop usually all the episodes because like with All or Nothing, they did everything right then and there and just binge it all.
Yeah, okay,
But
but
like,
okay. He now, like, how does it even work? Okay, they drop 5 episodes. What is Juve gonna do if he signs for them?
you
Like,
I think it's just gonna be one long like hour documentary.
Yeah,
Hanin says it's
Like
the same.
the day the documentary gets released, the day Juve are gonna announce it, I guess, because like it coincides.
Then nobody's
I
gonna watch
think
it.
it's
What's the
like,
point of watching it? Like, all that
yeah,
hype
well,
for five.
and the
If they announce it on the day, like no one's gonna watch it. Like, what if I don't watch it on the day? I'm watching it the next day. Like, I already know Pogba's back, and that like spoils the documentary.
I
So
don't think.
yeah.
just
I
behind
don't
it.
think he's gonna announce it.
Well, what is it? So like, if we look at the tweets and all the news, they're saying like the club's done everything that needs to be done. Now we're just like waiting for Pogba and like certain ergonomics and stuff. Like seriously, what happens if that's actually the reason why like the negotiations, nothing's been published because Pogba's agent's like, no, we are going to announce it during the documentary, and it's like seriously, like if the club for me, it's like if the club actually agreed to that, I'm just kind of just like holding my face and just face planting it because it's like.
Let's see. Let's see.
Just
I don't think.
announce it.
Like I like Pogba. Like I think he's a great player and all, but like, dude, I don't think he's done enough to like make a full Pogba documentary.
No,
I mean,
but
like, yeah, he won.
like, I don't care. Like, he's making money off it. I probably would do the same thing. Like, if you
Dude,
can pay me.
I think the club's gonna make money off it too. Like for
I
example,
don't
if
think the club. But he planned that a year ago. I remember when he.
Like the Juve's image rights. I'm sure we're gonna
Yeah.
get some sort of.
Oh,
Could
now he
you-
needs to announce his PSG in the video. Then we're getting clipped.
that that would actually be funny to do a live just to see the outrage of everybody. Like just
Actually,
like because
if it is PSG, that will be a great stunt, and he will get a lot of hate. But yeah, it is.
Yeah.
People are gonna hate him for that.
like, oh my goodness, like, because like Justin and Julian were talking about it last night, where like Justin's like, I just want to do a live and just watch the whole world burn if he signs for PSG. I just want to read the comments of pure destruction.
Yeah.
Like I know it's messed up, but like that would be so funny if something like that happened, because it's like you have like your people that are like, oh my god, I can't wait, he's gonna announce it then. I'm like super excited. Pogba Day on Friday, and then Pogba's like, we will play. I am going back, and he's like back to PSG, and then all of a sudden you're just like,
I don't.
like
Our
that's a
main
meme.
window
Let's say
just
it's-
that.
it's,
and our source of information was a bloody documentary.
Yeah,
I know.
it's next
Oh,
Friday.
what?
Let's see. So I think they're gonna drop it
Yeah.
very early. But let's see. I don't think it's gonna be that moment. Also because Romeo said it's gonna take a while. Blah blah blah. Also, before we wrap
Yeah,
it up,
could you
no, I made a poll
Oh, go ahead.
about who has a better chance to say Rovella or Fagioli. It's 51 Fagioli and 49 Rovella.
Oh, that's
So-
close.
It's very,
That's
very,
very
close.
close.
So let's see how that will develop. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up because I need to wake up early. Guys, like the video, or girls, I don't know, because it's not enough likes, by the way.
Yeah.
So please like the video.
the video. When the video finishes, guys, comment #Pugmentary just to get the algorithm going. So when Pugmentary is on
I don't
Twitter,
want
this
to
video is
be
going
in
to show
that.
up.
I don't want to be in that algorithm.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks, Dash and Malik, for joining on a Saturday evening. I don't know for Malik. Yeah, it's evening. It's midnight,
Yeah.
right? It's midnight.
Yeah, it's midnight. It's 1 a.m. where I am.
Is it 1 a.m.? Oh, so it's only 1
Yeah,
hour
it's
difference.
1:09.
Okay, it's not that much. Oh yeah, you told me
It's
yesterday.
okay. But my biological clock is still working with the UK time zone, so it's fine.
It's only 2 hours different.
Yeah, it's only 2 hours.
So yeah, thanks for joining. We will be back tomorrow with a daily, maybe a late night with Justin and Julian. I'm not sure about that. I need to check. Otherwise, we'll be back live on Monday, unless Juve signs a player tomorrow, which I don't think is gonna happen. So thanks everyone for watching. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification because it's almost sad. We have some new things ready, new shows, fun ones. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you back tomorrow, Monday.